Good morning, Stacy. It is so good to have you
Good
here
morning.
for Holly's Hot Wedding Tips. It's so exciting. You're a relationship coach, so you work with couples before their wedding, right?
I do, during and after.
Excellent. That's great. What common mistakes do you see couples making as they get ready to get married?
Misunderstandings. So there are always two people, and we forget that there are two people, two brains, two sets of communications, either with the partner or with the caterer or the florist or the dance instructor.
Right.
And we live inside our bodies and inside our minds, and when we're not present to the fact that there's another set of everything to work with, and when we're mindful of that they won't always match where we are. And so I always remind people when I'm talking or when we're talking that they don't live inside our head as much as we wish they would.
Right.
It would make a huge difference in communication.
It's so much easier if we were just telepathic.
Right?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be worse, but I can see that. What's the best tip you have for a couple planning their wedding?
My best tip is, again, an awareness and a consciousness of who you're communicating or working with. The second one is to get real. That would be my highlighted tip. We like to make up stories based on something that's happening, and it's usually from the past. So, there's this one time I had an interaction with someone that went bad. This feels like that, so I will react to you based on what I did back then. And so we have to be mindful of, what we're misinterpreting, what we're bringing from our past.
Right.
And then it gets it all jumbled. And when there's jumbling in the interaction, and then it just causes more stress and chaos, and yeah, we don't want that. So being mindful of what really happened. What is this fell over. Someone did knock it over to make your life miserable. Someone didn't do it to sabotage.
Are you sure you didn't make it do that to make my life quick? You made my life miserable.
Right. And so as it fell off, breathe, let's set it back up, and move on. But we sometimes, as humans, we love to get in a really juicy, dramatic victim story sometimes, and especially when stresses are high, we're more prone to get into those situations.
Right. What do couples know about a relationship coach that they need to know as they're getting ready for their wedding?
My primary role as a coach is to bring an awareness and sometimes even shift the perspective ever so slightly that can then open up a whole new world. As humans, again, we're grooved to be a certain way and to talk a certain way and to relate to our partner, especially if we've been with them for many months or years. And we get in that groove pattern, and there's always a bump. And that bump is so annoying. And so as a coach, I come in, I'm looking from the outside in. Oh, there's the bump, that's the bump. And so then I can repaint the picture for them. Here's what it really is. Here's what you think it is. And then just tweaking a behavior, a reaction, so that bump is now smooth. And now you're experiencing flow in your relationship. And really just bringing someone from the outside into your vulnerable space, and I'm safe and can be trusted and loving, and it's usually something really simple just like that, and everyone's good again. Right.
Yeah. How interesting.
Yeah.
What questions should couples be asking that they don't already ask?
They should ask themselves especially if there's a stressful situation. Those are when the questions would be asked. When something's staticky, I use the word crunchy, they can come back into themselves, more personal responsibility. Okay, what am I maybe doing, bringing extra to the situation that I'm either misinterpreting, or am I focused on something else but having a conversation, am I not present? Or is this reminding me of something that is habitual in my life? So definitely that's the big question, is how am I being in this situation?
Do you have special techniques for them to do these things in the heat of the moment? Are there special things to do?
It's real simple. When you start to feel the static, the crunchy, is to stop and breathe and energetically or physically even step away.
Right.
And then dial back into you, and then you could just, it gets to go, we get going on such a roll, and it tumbles out of control, and then sometimes it's hard to reel it back in.
So kind of a timeout before you do more damage.
Perfect, timeout, yep, I bet.
Go to your corners, 5 minutes, and then we'll talk again in a minute when we both cool down.
Yeah, and even before, and you said cool down, and ideally, before it even gets that heated, you don't even need a cool down, that you can have mastery and practice in, that you get to step back, take a breath, and it just kind of breaks the crunch right there,
Right.
and then you can continue moving.
Then you can analyze things in a better way and come back at it with
Right.
a positive. Great,
Yeah.
great. What's the most unusual premarital counseling that you've done?
Oh my goodness, unusual. Premarital. You know, I wouldn't say this one's unusual. This one's really, oh gosh. So there was actually, it was a couple, it was 2 women, and they were Mennonites. And so they had their religion to deal with and their chosen partnership being woman and woman. And so they were dealing with just being humans, being different in society, and then also the religion, so the Mennonite practices. And so that was really, it wasn't unusual, and it was just really intriguing and interesting, and it gave me an opportunity to have a new perspective and to see the world from non-traditional lenses.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Stacy. I really
Sure.
appreciate you being here
Thank
today.
you.
You're welcome.